So I'm just preparing to go live on YouTube. Just give me 1 second. And yes, we are live on YouTube. Perfect. So welcome. Good evening, everyone. Those of you signing in from YouTube, good evening. Those of you on Zoom, good evening. And welcome to this session of learning that we have been doing for a long time. And we have with us is Dr. Sonal. Right? Dr. Sonal is a dentist by profession. She is a proud dentist and an accomplished medical writer. She's been a scientific editor, a public health specialist, and she has worked with some of the leading organizations, John Hopkins, Pharmacy, PLOS, that is a journal, and she is currently serving as the editor-in-chief of Medivista Journal, and she is also the in the on the editorial board of JCMM. She comes with a rich experience in scientific communication and healthcare writing, and she also brings a deep expertise in simplifying complex information for readers across all levels. This is very important, right? Because in scientific writing or medical writing, when we write, we are not sure who the reader is, right? When we publish a blog, for example, anyone can read, right? When we write an article, though it is tailored for one kind of audience, but then cross profiles, across reading levels, people read, right? So she has that qualification and expertise to simplify that complex information for readers across different levels. So welcome, Dr. Sonal. Thank you so much for being here and helping us learn more on scientific writing. So the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for such a humble introduction. And it was really lovely joining everyone here. And first and foremost, thanks to everyone for tuning in, giving us your time, and putting in the hard work to learn. The base of any career, first of all, is the willingness to learn. It is not your degree, it is not your resources, it's not your networking, how much you post on LinkedIn. Because sometimes we forget in today's day and age that we are so carried away with your likes and comments that the main thing is that if you are willing to learn, you can go from whatever you know to whatever you want to know. That's it.
Absolutely.
That is the only path. And if you are, I always say, like in my mentorship calls, people always ask me that, can you give some advice, apart from all the documents and resources and links. So I always say that be more stubborn than your last failure. That the last time you failed and you felt that you just cannot push it anymore, this is it, you cannot brainstorm anymore, you cannot learn anymore. So just take a break and be more stubborn than your last failure, and then there will be a time when you won't have any more failures. So
Absolutely.
with that note, we will start, and I'll share the presentation.
Please
And
do that.
please, if anybody has any questions, please enter in the chat box, and we'll attend to that all at the last.
Absolutely. So the participants, this is how the session will go. So Dr. Sonal will present her slides, and then we'll open up for Q&A. And there are two ways you can ask questions. Number one, you can simply unmute and talk. We'll give you unmuting rights at the end of the session. Or you can simply put in the chat box. I'll read out the questions for you, right? If you're watching this on YouTube, you can also put the questions in the chat box, and I'll pick up the questions from there. Now, some of you may be watching the recording later on after the session. That's perfectly fine. If you still have questions, you may connect with Dr. Sonal and myself on LinkedIn, and we'll try our best to answer the questions, right? So yes, Dr. Sonal, let's get started.
I hope my first slide, my presentation is visible properly.
Please make it full screen, otherwise it looks perfect.
Okay, just a second. All right. I hope it's
clear. Yeah, perfect. Yes.
Okay. So, okay, without much further ado, we'll start. What exactly is scientific writing in the big, vast ocean of medical writing? Okay, so you must have heard so much about medical writing. It is like almost an epidemic in today's date, especially after COVID. So, but a very small part of that is your scientific writing. So let's get to know more about it. So what can you basically take away? What can you expect from this webinar? Um, Basically, what you are, no matter what background you are. I saw when people were joining in that some are from a pharma background, some are from, I believe, similar background as mine, BDS. Some are from, I believe there was someone from nursing. I'm not sure. So there is a big mix of people, and there is no clarity as to what kind of start you can have in your journey. Some people think that you need to be a medical writer to have a medical background. So medical background does not um, ensure that you will have, success in your medical writing journey. A scientific background also can be polished, and you can upskill yourself to have your medical knowledge. Okay, so I hope this made sense, and you can ask any questions for your particular domain at the end. So know your root, clear understanding of what scientific writing includes or entails. So basically, we'll discuss more in the coming slides. So starting from resources that you already have, you have done some degree, whether it is graduation, whether it is post graduation. So instead of transitioning from that to something else, it is always better to work with what you have. Okay, so instead of jumping from one platform to another and getting burnt out, getting frustrated, it is better that you start with what you have and then build from there. Okay, because you have spent years, you have spent money, time, and effort for collecting that knowledge, and you are good at it. There is a reason why you have chosen your domain. So instead of skipping to another, uh, we will show you how you can start from what you have and move further to where you want to go. Then known to unknown. Now there are certain transferable scientific skills, okay, that people learn in the lab, or they learn during field, when they go out to collect data, or they learn when they help or assist someone, you know depend on whatever work they have done in their graduation or post graduation degrees. Using that skill, you can improve your writing abilities and transform all that into your writing career. Okay, scientific writing career or medical writing career. So basically, it is going from your known to unknown instead of just jumping into the unknown, from zero. Then coming to fourth aspect, that is your professional growth. Now, sorry, knowledge of essential tools, skills, and other things, such as how to basically present yourself. So soft skills and the things that you learn over the year by being as a portraying yourself as a scientific writer. So that professional growth you can achieve through any point, wherever you are at. Even if you have a pharma background like sir has, you can proceed from there. Your path will look slightly different than a person who has done BDS or MDS, or a person who has done MPH. But there is a possibility that you can, okay, reach the career point of a medical writer. Then also clarity for future. Now, exactly what to do as a medical writer, okay, as a scientific writer. How, like tomorrow, if you want to decide that, okay, I'm going to be a scientific writer. So you have to know exactly what sites you can go on to, what people you can contact, what organizations you can apply, what courses you can do, what skills you should have. Okay, so these are actionable tips, as I call them. So not just theoretical knowledge, theory that can be converted into very practical based knowledge. All right. So all these things, all the points that I just talked about, you will have detailed knowledge after this webinar. So can I remove this sidebar, sir? One second. Okay. Yeah. So how will your scientific journey start? Okay. So say, for example, you have done your lab work and you want to use that knowledge which you have learned in a microbiology lab, chemistry lab, into your writing. Okay. So first of all, you have to sharpen your writing skills. There are certain opportunities that you have to, make yourself capable for. You have to keep applying. You have to network with some people. So all these things is basically how your journey will start. Okay, so the transition path can be from bench to your desk. Your scientific training equips you with unique skills that are highly valued in medical writing. Okay, so scientific training that you already have. Okay, I'm not talking about learning something new here, something that you have already learned and you have, done the hard work. So we'll use that to transition you into a writer. Okay, then your specialized niche, whichever niche you have taken. Okay, you need to be very confident in that and be the best at that. You need not worry about what is trending or what people are writing about or what certain organization say. You want to get into Novartis or you want to get into Sanofi. Okay, you need not worry about what they are writing about or what people are getting good money for. You need to work on what you know best. Okay, because you will be able to transition that into a proper career, into a good paying career, a satisfying career with a higher chance compared to when you are comparing yourself with what other people are doing. Okay, so always remember, work with what you have and focus on learning what you don't have. Then why scientific writing could be your or is your next move? Intellectual stimulation. Okay, now we all know that in today's date, work-life balance is a big thing that is sought after. Okay, whether it is your remote job, whether it is your office job, hybrid job, okay, small towns or big metro cities, everybody at the end of the day, every person who is pursuing a career wants their job to bring them work-life balance. They want it to be very peaceful. Okay, so remote jobs such as medical writing, okay, can be a very, very good option for doing something which is very intellectually stimulating, and you'll be always having the right amount of challenge and never get saturated. Why? Because it is first of all related to research, and research usually never ends. It is not that uh, things are discovered and like problems are solved and tomorrow there will be no more problems. There always are going to be studies and research and more details and counter research. So that healthy debate will always be going on, and we will always have raw material for writing your manuscripts, writing your blogs, and whatever kind of documents. So this is never going to go out of scope. Okay, like some careers you might feel tend to have their end time, that they're not required anymore. But scientific writing is remote. It is always going to be required, and there is you can have a very good work life balance. Okay, so that was the third point. Fourth point now, professional growth. Professional growth in the sense that you can have any kind of career you want to with it. Okay, you can go into writing manuscripts, you can go into attaching yourself with a journal like I have. You can even work as a peer reviewer. Okay, so it depends on what interests you and what your skills are, what kind of work that you start enjoying once you explore this path. Okay, so that is your professional growth, and there are a lot of opportunities in scientific writing also. Now, the medical writing landscape. Okay, an overview. So I said in the beginning that scientific writing is a very small part of medical writing. So these terms are used interchangeably. Okay, so now let's learn exactly what it is. Now, medical writers are basically people who write about health related, healthcare related issues. Okay, it can be anything: treatment, therapies, any new drugs, any old studies, anything. So those are your medical writers. However, your scientific writers, okay, your scientific writers deal with anything about science. So that is a broader perspective than your medical writers. Okay, so that is why we chose this topic for your for this webinar, because people who don't have that proper core medical background, they can portray themselves, they can pursue their career as a scientific writer also. Like I heard that someone was joining, and the qualification was BBSc or something, I am assuming. So those people, if you transition yourself into medical writing, okay, so it will be a more acute learning curve. However, if you transition yourself as your scientific writer, it will be little closer to home, closer to what you already know. Okay, so let's just quickly go into the major parts, okay, the major heads of medical writing. First, regulatory writing. Without confusing you, I'll just tell you, like, regulatory writing is something that deals with preparing any kind of documentation that goes around the process of a clinical trial, a clinical study. So it can be before, during, and after. So broadly and very accurately, that is your regulatory writing. Now, medical communications, also known as MedComms. Okay, so that is your slide decks, then leaflets, brochures, your PILs, your health blogs. Health blogs comes under medical communications. Anything that requires a communication, okay, that is a translation of more complex scientific knowledge into simple knowledge. So simple knowledge will essentially be for a layman or a public audience. That is why it's called your medical communication. All right. So that is your second tier. Third tier is your scientific publications. Okay, that scientific writing is more closest to. Now, disseminating research to scientific community. Now, there is one team who is doing the research. Okay, the principal investigator and all that. After that, those people want to conduct more and more researches. So not everyone is very thorough and very confident or even very interested in doing the writing and publication and assembling and meeting the feedback of the journal and all that, because it's a very tedious job. So they essentially outsource it. They do in post graduation. When you do a postgraduate degree, they make you do your thesis and a few other publications just for the sake of getting your degree. But if you are going to go into an academic background and you're going to continuously keep on publishing your studies, you are either going to need support, like multiple writers, multiple authors, or you're going to outsource it to some freelance person or a company or anybody. So this kind of work, okay, what I just talked about, this is involved in your scientific publications. Then comes your medical journalism. Medical journalism, basically any news that is your medical science related, health related, okay, that comes under medical journalism. So it is usually for your common audience, okay. So it is written very similarly to a health blog, but the template and the format slightly different. Okay. The last part uh, is your grant writing. Now, grant writing is nothing but during the process of getting a grant, or let me explain this simply. There are studies which require more funds than the person conducting the study can afford. However, why he is doing the study is that because he has got a great concept, a great idea, and he realizes after doing a lot of research that this study has not been done before. But he makes a proposal and needs somebody like an investor. You know, we have investors for companies. So similarly, a grant needs a fund. Okay, that is your investment, and this fund is provided by your institutes or organizations which particularly do this kind of work. So how will you convince someone that my study is the appropriate choice for your fund, or it deserves this kind of large sum of money. So this document that is going to act as a pitch for your study, that is called your grant writing, okay, that avails the grant. Okay, so these are the major types of your medical writing types. There are many more, but not to confuse you, we'll just stick with this for now. Okay, so just give me a second.
Meantime, participants, if you have any questions, you can keep putting in the chat box and we'll take up those questions at the end of the session. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Sonal, you're back.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. Now we got to know what scientific writing is. How is it different from other types of writing? We got a little bit of taste of, the spectrum where it lies, how easy it is, how difficult it is. So, selecting the niche or the domain of scientific writing where you feel you will belong, okay, because you have to take a decision if you want to be into scientific writing. So you have to know, do you have the aptitude for it? All right, so let us do a quick comparison between your journal medical writing, which you must be knowing about, versus your scientific writing. Okay, so when it comes to the target audience, the medical writing is basically for HCPs, that is your healthcare professionals, in which everything comes, the doctors, nurses, okay, so those people, and then your patients, then your regulatory agencies. This is your target audience, in the sense you are writing documents for these people. However, in scientific writing, your target audience is a little more, on the technical side, little more nuanced. That is your scientists, researchers, peers, and your academics. So people who are a little bit more familiar with data than your, science terms, and don't need an introduction or an explanation of the topic per se, rather very like a debatable conclusion whether this product works or this product doesn't work. Okay, so it is not about education so much when it comes to your scientific writing. It is more about your results, like what happened with this product, what is the advantage, what is the disadvantage, are there adverse effects. So this is the broad picture. So coming to the second point, core task. Then in your journal medical writing, you are basically summarizing data, educating, informing, persuading. Okay. So it can be like medical copywriting, it can be your blogs, it can be your brochures that you find in clinics and hospitals. So all that you are basically, you have an audience, you have a topic, and you are either informing them. It can be about diabetes, it can be about a bypass surgery, and you are simplifying them for them to better understand the topic. Okay. However, in your scientific writing, you are interpreting and arguing or debating with data, and you're presenting novel research. Okay. So I think that is pretty self-explanatory. Coming to the third point, primary goal is your education, regulatory approval, marketing, and awareness. So these are your primary goals. In scientific writing, your primary goal is your dissemination of research, peer review, and scientific discourse. Scientific discourse is nothing but the uh, representation or the distribution of your scientific findings, your results of your study throughout your it can be globally, it can be nationally, anybody. So basically you're publishing your results in a journal for everyone to see and discuss. So examples of journal medical writing will be patient leaflets, promotional materials, CSRs. Your scientific writing involves white papers, journal manuscripts, abstracts that are presented in conferences, posters, then scientific guides, so on and so forth. Okay, so yeah. Now your science degree, okay, this is the core of this webinar. I want you to realize that what you have already learned, okay, my core strength was when my career actually took a turn for the, better, is when I realized that what I already know is actually my strength. It is not my limitation. if I'm transitioning from a career that is very conventional, traditional, and expects a certain kind of result. Like if I'm a dentist and I am a public health dentist, so I have done my degree, I have done my training in the fact that I will be conducting camps, or I will be taking, like reports, and I will be, certain kind of like working in a clinic, or conducting any kind of surveys and all that. So I do know that area, but however, what I am going to use in the future should not be limited to that area. Does not mean that I have to use all of what I know. I can use one part, and I can focus on that and learn the rest. Okay, so I hope I'm making sense right now. Because if you understand this, that where you're coming from, that is the base, and you have to solidify that base in order to have, make a building on it. And that is going to be the rest of your career. So if you have done your, if you have a pharma background and you want to transition to medical writing or scientific writing, your aptitude should never be that you have to learn medical writing. No, you don't have to learn medical writing. You don't have to learn scientific writing. You have to be able to translate your knowledge in such a way that you become a scientific writer. Okay, I hope you understand the difference between the two, because that is very important. Okay, so coming to the slide, data interpretation, analyzing complex data sets and identifying trends. Okay, so reading graphs, bars, and charts is a prerequisite of a scientific writer. If you're comfortable with it, well and good. Otherwise, there are multitude of courses. There are free courses, very nominally paid courses that will just help you understand. Okay, this is something that a biostatistician knows, and that is, not a very difficult task. So you can definitely go ahead and learn that. Then subject matter expertise. Okay, whatever subject you know, like if you have, say, microbiology, you can start writing manuscripts, you can start writing any form of documents, short, 800 word blogs, 1200 word, like a health news, health feature. And you can expand in that by polishing your writing and then slowly transition to manuscripts. Okay, so you don't need to pick a separate domain from your microbiology or your pharma or your dental background, because there is writing going on in every single domain that is there in the science background. Okay, so you just have to find your domain and you have to pursue it. Coming to the third point, critical thinking, evaluating research design and methodologies. Okay, then basically asking questions. Okay, that is all that it means. Asking questions, finding the solutions through a scientific method. Then intellectual stimulation. So always remember, your scientific training isn't just a foundation, it is your most powerful asset. Okay, so essential skills to build for success. So scientific English mastery. There are certain ways that, as non-native English speakers, okay, Indians, Asians, we tend to translate spoken English into written English. However, the type of English that is said to be error-free, that is required for any form of writing. Even if you go and write novel, even if you go and write 400 word blog, there are certain grammar do's and don'ts that you need to learn, that there are so many courses for. I also conduct courses, and there are umpteen amount of courses. So that is just something that you can learn over time. You can be aware. Okay, if someone can teach you and you can practice it, you can improve your reading, you can improve your communicating, you can speak English more often. There are so many apps also these days to better your English. So that part gets covered, and slowly your communication as a writer starts improving. Okay, and that translates into better work, and then better pay for that better work. So second point, publication guidelines. Now, as doing any project, when we undertake any project, there are certain checklists, there are certain rules and regulations that we need to be aware of how to go about doing something. So writing also has certain guidelines. All right, and that can be learned. Now, the third point, industry standards. Okay, so there is something called publication guidelines, and then there is something else which is known as good publication practice. Okay, so it is not something that you do it out of intent, like plagiarism. Then you're not citing, or not quoting the references. You just are not aware of it. Okay, it's basically like in India, you travel on ride on one side of the road, but however, if you go in US, that same right becomes wrong. Okay, so when you go into your publication industry, you need to just be aware, and you need to keep on remembering those rights and wrongs by reading and revision and practice, and then you become very confident in your it starts coming very subconsciously. Then lastly, project management, managing multiple writing projects. Okay, meeting deadlines, as I said a few slides earlier. Soft skills. Okay, time management, people management, how to present yourself. Sometimes you have a writer's block, so how to overcome that. So those are all the skills that can be learned, however they are essential. Okay, now building your portfolio. Okay, practical steps. Okay, so now a lot of people ask me that if I don't have any experience, like if I don't have any past experience, and I'm a fresher, so how should I get my first job? Okay, so my answer is that you can build your experience by yourself. Okay, how is that? If you don't have proof of what you have done, okay, you can create that proof. You don't need to work under somebody or work with somebody and then have samples of your writing. You can start writing. There are so many sites, like you must have heard WordPress. Then Medium is very popular these days. So these are not even paid sites. You can go and you can start writing, and people will start reading it. They will start sharing it and commenting it, and slowly your ability to write, your ability to think and then convey your information when considering your science topics, not just like daily language that you speak in English. Science is a little bit more complex. So this art can be learned, and it can be improved with time. Okay, so with that thought, let's come to the first point. So drafting or editing a manuscript. Okay, so basically this is one of the core uh, skills that you need to focus on, that you need to learn before venturing into your scientific writing. Okay, so you can practice this, or you can assist somebody, that some person who is an academic, some peer, some colleague, friend, anybody who is writing a manuscript. You can see how it is written. You can read the different drafts. Okay, I also have a lot of sessions on free sessions on my LinkedIn, so you can learn editing there. And apart from that, the whole process of improving your writing is only by writing. I mean, it's like practice makes a man perfect. That is age old saying, but that still holds true. So you cannot remove that inhibition, you cannot remove that hesitation that you have, that what if my writing is not good enough, by sitting back and not writing. It will never happen on its own. You just have to write it out, and then later on you can better it. You can ask people for corrections. You can use apps. There are so many apps these days. Hemingway app, then your pro writing aid. So there are a lot of apps who will tell you what your errors are. Okay, so you can slowly realize that, okay, I thought that this word was right, this sentence was right, but this is not how it's supposed to be. Okay, so with that, coming to the second point, you can write a review article. Okay, so you can collaborate with someone who's writing a review article. And review article, basically what it does, it you have to bring together a lot of complex information, and you have to discuss a topic, or discuss a device or a medicine, and you have to debate from both sides. Okay, then take certified medical writing courses. The UK and European, both sides, the American and the European. So both sides, they have a lot of free. There are some courses which are free. There are some um, downloadable resources which are free. However, these are paid, and even if you go for the paid versions, there are benefits, long-term benefits. Once you have seriously decided that you want to go into this industry, they will be, more than more than worth it, I would say. Okay, so lastly, you can start a science blog. As I said, you can go on WordPress, you can go on Medium, you can start a science blog, and you can, add people, you can send the links to people, you can network, and they will, come and comment on it, and slowly and slowly your writing will improve. Okay, so let's see the career opportunities where you can actually start. So MedComms agencies, okay, then your pharmaceutical companies, your CROs. So you must have heard of a lot of job openings if you have gone on LinkedIn or Naukri and all, where if you find like medical writer, medical reviewer, then quality reviewer. So you will have companies like Sanofi, then Novartis, Cipla, then a lot of companies. So all these companies, basically what they do is they hire people who write for them, and they outsource that writing to, say, companies that advertise their products in form of a website, like blogs and pamphlets or leaflets, whatever the requirement is. Okay, the requirement can be of any type, but you are on the one end, and those companies are the clients are on the other end, and these companies will be in the middle. Okay, so the format in which they do depends whether they can be categorized as a medcom agency, a pharma company, or a CRO. Okay, but basically their framework is more or less the same. Okay, then coming to professional organizations like America Medical Writers Association, it has a lot of workshops, webinars, it has a job posting board, then it has certification opportunities, both free and paid. Then European Medical Writers Association provides professional development, networking events. You can, get to know people who are looking for opportunities or are actually pursuing opportunities very similar to what you are interested in. Okay, so this is okay. So that was all that, basically Indian and global combined. Now let me discuss something which is going to be useful to you, even if you want to start tomorrow. Okay, say you are looking for a basic program and you're not so sure that I want to spend, like, 5,000 rupees on Udemy or Coursera and take up courses, and what if I lose interest? That's a very valid question. Because this is something that a career is something that you have made up your mind, either seeing it directly, you saw someone pursuing it, and you decided that, okay, this is something I can do, but it may not last, it may not be something that you want to do. Okay, so why not start with courses which are more or less either free or nominal. Okay, so you're sure, and you get your confidence in pursuing this opportunity. Okay, and later on, when you really know what you're doing, when you have your interest, you can go on to the courses I discussed in the previous slide. Okay, so now government of India has made this beautiful institute, organization called SWAYAM. Okay, SWAYAM. Okay, SWAYAM. So basically, this organization teams up with other institutes like ICMR, then IGNU, then ITTR, that is, I believe, in teacher and training research. So all these organizations, this is just three. There is like 14, 15, list of organizations. So if you're really interested, you can go to their site, check out these courses and enroll them. And they have small aspects of medical writing, scientific writing that you can start with. Okay, and they are more in scientific writing because they are associated with science-based organizations. Okay, so this is one thing that you can do. Okay, so I hope you had a good, run through of the background knowledge that I wanted to show you. Okay, so basically your next chapter starts here in the sense that if you are very excited to see how your career can change, you have been working in a lab, you have been collecting data, or you have been doing anything else which you find you are no longer interested in, but you don't want to waste all that knowledge. Okay, like you want to use that knowledge. Okay, so whether it is writing an abstract, whether it is making a poster, whether it is making a brochure, or going on and writing your first full publication, first full manuscript. Okay, you can always start doing that with the knowledge you have. Okay, so you can have your intellectual fulfillment, your professional growth, and your direct application without learning anything majorly new. Okay, so with that, I believe we'll come to the end of this.
Perfect. Dr.
Okay.
Sonal, thank you so much. All right. So, participants, if you have any questions, please put in the chat box and I'll read out to you, read out to Dr. Sonal. Dr. Sonal, thank you so much for sharing that incredible journey of yours in this session and the learnings related to scientific writing. The transitioning from different areas into scientific writing is probably the easiest one because all of us come from life sciences and science background, and some way we have learned the art of scientific writing during our college days. We have written something during our college time, written at least a thesis paper or a project, right? Or written for the college magazine, written some published some papers. So some amount of writing already we have done. The only thing is and only thing we need is probably to polish that into different formats. And as you rightly said, there are so many different types of writing. We have regulatory, we have medical communications, we have writing for publications and scientific journals, right? Medical journalism, grant writing, which is picking up these days a lot for research, right? And then building the portfolios based on those writings, right? So all of this would definitely help us to get started in medical writing. So some of you want to know how to get started in medical writing. We have covered a lot of these topics during the past sessions, right? So many of you are attending for the first time. So that's the reason we are getting these kind of questions. But if you have attended past sessions, then you know most of these are covered there, right? But anyways, no problem. We'll take up those questions from you. If you want to unmute, just raise your virtual hand and we'll love to interact with you. You can ask the question live so that Dr. Sonal answers you live there. Anyone wants to ask questions live, please raise your virtual hand. If not, let's continue with some of the questions that I'm seeing in the chat box. So this question is from Chanjot Kaur Sandhu, and the question is, I'm already in freelancing industry, started almost a year and a half ago, learning by myself with all the resources uh, learning by myself with all the resources available. I am a EMBO member too, but what I have realized is every MedComms agency, regulatory writing company needs some sort of agency experience. And here I feel my portfolio is not valued. How to overcome it. So any suggestions for her?
Okay, so sorry, I didn't catch the name. What was the name?
Name is Chanjot Kaur Sandhu.
Okay, so Charanjot Kaur, thanks for your question. Okay, so the basic truth is that when you go into regulatory writing, okay, you mentioned two domains, but I think there's some confusion. If you go into regulatory writing, there is always a demand for someone who's experienced.
Yeah.
Why? it is not that they are competing against you or they don't want freshers. It is just that process of getting a clinical trial, a drug, is from taking it to point A to point B is so difficult. It is so, the deadlines are so tight that they don't have that window of asking some, new person, some person who wants to learn, to step in and teach that person. That is the only reason. There is no other reason. So how to break this is that you assist somebody who is doing this. Okay, you go into finding out about internships. There are internships. I'm not getting the name right now because I'm not so much currently into regulatory writing, but we can always find out and get back to you. So you can go and get into internships. So basically, if you have proof that you have assisted someone, they are going to be more likely to take you into your regulatory domain. Okay. So, Charanjot, you mentioned something about MedComms. MedComms is different from regulatory. MedComms has your blog writing and your basically patient education materials. Okay. So that you can start writing and you can just have your portfolio, that you can make. You can even ask someone to, edit it and make it more polished, and then make it a nice, use AI and make a nice portfolio, attach your resume, and post it in your LinkedIn profile, and then people will be able to access it. And if they like your work, then they'll start replying to you, and that is how your work will start. That is your medcoms. Regulatory, you have to see exactly what goes on in the background, and only then you will be able to actually work. Because even if you go in without experience, like even if you get a job tomorrow in regulatory, uh, it is so hectic that you won't be able to keep up unless you actually know that, okay, you have 5 days to finish this document, and you know exactly how to go about it. So you'll always need a little help, room for error where you can make mistakes. And after that, once you are done with all the rough stages, then you can go in for a full-blown job.
Absolutely, perfectly said, Dr. Sonali. And another thing for medcoms is LinkedIn is definitely one of the best options. But wherever you are based out in India, are you based out in India? Just give me a yes or no in the chat box. No? All right. So if you're not based out in India, then this may not work for you. But then, uh, for those who are looking for medcoms in India, there are a lot of companies that need support from freelancers or consultants who can support them. If you're based outside India, then the best option is to reach out to the companies through LinkedIn and try there. Okay. Yeah, of course, you can ask question live. Just raise your virtual hand and we'll unmute you. Anyone wants to ask the question live? Go for it. We'll unmute you. Okay. All right. I don't get the virtual hand. Okay, fine. Let's do this. I have given the option for all of you to simply unmute. Whoever wants to talk, just unmute and talk. Hopefully that works.
Hello.
Yes, Rahina.
I'm Dr. Rahina Kotta. I'm a BDS graduate and currently working in UAE as a dental assistant. I'm thinking of a career transition to non-clinical career. So I don't have any prior experience in writing. So where I should start? That's my question.
Yeah, Dr. Sonal is perfect for answering
Hi.
that.
Hi,
Hi.
Dr. Rahina. Okay.
Hello.
So where you should start is where are you right now? As in, what is the qualification that you are most confident in?
My professional qualification, I'm a BDS graduate, working as a dental assistant. So I have clinical experience. I don't
You
have
have, right, you have clinical experience. So
Yeah.
how the best thing is you can convert the knowledge you already have, and you are currently thorough with into your writing. Okay, so add writing skills to what you already have, and what you already have is your clinical knowledge of your dentistry.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just want to know the
Yeah.
platforms where I can get this writing skills, so I can boost my.
There are many platforms where you can get the writing skills. Okay, it is just that you have to decide which niche or which corner of medical writing you want to settle into.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to first decide for yourself instead of exploring and getting confused and then not ending up take a decision, which
Oh,
most people do. Okay, because you don't need surplus of knowledge at that time.
all right.
Okay, you need to know that what you already have, how to convert that into your what you said, non-clinical remote career. That's
Sorry.
it. Don't go beyond that.
All
Okay,
right.
start with your small steps, baby steps, and then take a mega leap later on. Okay, so
Yeah.
baby steps would be okay. One of the baby steps would be that you can start writing dental blogs. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and make a portfolio of what you learn, like a case study or case reviews,
Okay.
something interesting. Possibly take permissions from your clinician and click pictures
All
and
right.
write about that. You have some, say, gingivitis, okay,
Uh,
like pregnancy induced gingivitis.
all
So you
right.
can write like a 800,000 word blog. You can
Okay.
have your introduction, you can have some, major headings of that blog. Then you can have your FAQs, you can have your references. So when
Okay.
you start doing this process, you will see how much you don't know. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So once you realize what you don't know, is then when you start searching what courses I'm going to get. Okay.
All right.
So this is the flow chart that you need to follow when you
Oh,
transition from a known to an unknown.
all
Okay.
right.
If you get all your books open at one time, you won't learn anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so pick a topic which you have possibly assisted or worked with, and write about that. Research that on PubMed, and
All right.
then yeah, whatever hurdles you face, make a note of that in a notebook, and find courses in relation to each hurdle, and that is how you will have like list of 4 to 5 courses for the rest of the year, and that's it. Your year schedule would have been decided.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Sanal. Thank you very much for
Sure,
your.
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
Payal or Dr.
Okay.
Payal, go for
Thank you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sonal. It was really informative. Okay. First, I have one question. You started with your first slide. Can you just go back to your first slide and just explain those 4 points where you talked about the professional growth, intellectual stimulation from bench to those parts, specialized niche, because that is connected to your, I think, the last slide. Can you just go back to your first and the last slide? Then I can ask you.
Sure, sure, sure. Just a second.
Yeah. So for everyone else, please note that the session recording will be available to you. You can watch it any point of time and recap from there, right? And for those of you who are wanting to know about the freelance opportunities, we'll be having a session exclusively on freelance writing. And the person is somebody who's been freelancing for quite some time, and she'll be sharing about her journey and tips for you to get started as a freelancer. So please do join there, and then ask questions related to freelancing.
and
Manoj sir,
and
you have
and
disabled the screen sharing.
No, no, it is enabled. Please try.
It's showing that it's disabled.
And Manoj sir, I have think you have posted in the chat box regarding the position available for medical writing and scientific writing in BioQuest company, right? That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you mean. So where is it, a CRO?
No, it's not a CRO, it's an agency, but based out in Bangalore, but they give you, I think, almost 100% work from home opportunity. So once in a
Yes.
while, you'll have to come to office if you are based out in Bangalore. If you're not, then probably you can opt for 100% work from home opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can I reach them? Do they have any specific mail ID where I can post my CV?
Yeah, I have put the email IDs and everything. So for everybody else, who are trying to look out for opportunities, I keep posting about these opportunities every day on LinkedIn. Please follow there. I have also
Okay.
separately created a separate page called Learn Medical Writing. that is exclusively for, posting content related to medical writing and, learning medical writing and other things, right? So go there and you'll be finding a lot of opportunities. Today also I have posted, I think, 3, 4 job opportunities related to medical writing and scientific writing. You will find all the details how to apply, and you can directly apply it through their portals and company details. We don't ask you to send resumes to us and then we don't forward them. You can directly reach out to them and apply it through their portals. Okay.
Okay. And Sonal ma'am, I just want to ask you that you talked about the ICMG guideline. Actually, I was going through the guideline 2 days back. I have a very basic question. There, say for example, I am as a scientific writer in the industry, right? Now, when I'm drafting any research, say as you have mentioned, the intellectual clarity, right? You have to frame the writing from someone's research background, right? And then I have to draft it. So when the particular journal specific writing will be published, so what will be my contribution to that particular writing? Should I get any authorship eligibility there, or just as an acknowledgement?
That you can decide. See, there are options for both. If you want authorship, usually, then like what happens is that I'm not sure how you have this picture, but you don't have the full picture, because if you know this, then you must be knowing that if somebody is coming to you with results of a study, like
Hmm.
aim, objectives, and everything, and they want you to make it into a manuscript that can be published. Okay,
Mhm.
so they will usually pay you. Okay, as a
Mhm.
career, as a scientific writer, you are not going to ask for authorship
Mhm.
because you are going to make a career out of it, and having publications is not going to help you uh, progress in your scientific writing career. If you want to go for readership, as a professor, and you are in your academics,
Mhm.
then you will go for authorship, and then you won't take the money. So those are two different routes, and you
Mhm.
can choose either or. Okay, so I hope that
No,
explains.
I understood what, because right
Mm.
now I am working as a professor, associate professor, so I know like whatever manuscript I'm writing, it will add to my,
Yeah,
basket. But
yeah.
say for example, now if I shift to a company, pharma company, and there is some research, explorative research going on, and I'm in the scientific writing department, so that
Okay.
will come tailored to my department, and I have to say make a conference paper or abstract, maybe that is
Yeah.
given to. So in that, will be there any contribution of mine in that, as drafting it into my, means I want to say what
Why
will be
would you
my
want
scientific.
why would you
Uh,
want contribution if you are shifting to a different
Working to
domain?
yes, yes, they were, yeah,
Why
absolutely.
your contribution will be that you are writing and you're getting paid for it, and you are being known for your writing. So people are going to give you clientele and work based on your writing. You cannot have both the things, right? If you are going to go for authorship, you cannot worry about the money, and if you are going to make a livelihood out of it, then you cannot worry about the authorship, because like it doesn't serve the purpose, right?
But as per ICMG guideline, they say 4%, minimum 5% can go for the authorship. One who has done the experiment,
I
second who has
understand.
drafted.
I'm not saying that it's not ethical. I'm saying that as a scientific writer, what purpose would it solve for you? That is my question. I'm not
Achha,
saying
Uh,
about
so
the
like the
legalities
purpose
of
is
it.
like, as that's why I told you to highlight that intellectual fulfillment. So that will kind of my money is okay. Even a person who is doing the research in the company, he's also getting the money for doing the research. But the intellectual fulfillment is okay. I understand the research and I can
Um,
make it into a nutshell, summarize it, the underlying statement of the
I think
research.
you're getting a bit confused with two, three aspects, and you're combining it. Intellectual stimulation essentially means that you are choosing a career for yourself which will challenge you based on your intellect. That is all that it means. So if you are saying about contribution, you are not a researcher anymore if you shift to a scientific writing or a medical writing career. You are not a person who has done the research.
Achha.
It is not your concept, it is not your brainchild. You are a
Hmm.
person who is putting research. Even if you have done it, you cannot portray that this is my main skill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, You can sit and talk among your family and friends and, feel proud about it that, okay, you have done this research. But if you're choosing to shift from that to a scientific writer, then you need to focus on the fact that what your writing is giving you. Okay,
Acha.
so people who are going to pursue scientific writing are, see, any career. I mean, let's not even sugarcoat it. It is about satisfaction. It is about money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are going to eventually see what gain you're getting from it, whether you are happy doing what you love, and whether you are getting like financial independence from it, or whatever kind of money you want. So in the end, that is going to be what it is. If you don't want that, then why shift to scientific writing? You can just continue with the research part of it, because research will challenge you a little more. Okay, and you will be at the front, and you will get a little more credit for the conceptual part of your manuscript, rather than just the writing skills. I hope that is clear now.
Yeah, yeah. So as the professional expert from this field, what you suggest me? Like, see, I'm in a verge of my career where I have done a long research career. Now I'm into academics, and actually I want to shift to corporate. And the point is now to at the entry level or in the mid level, if I entry through scientific writing, later on, can I shift to the research explore group or research team? Is it possible?
You can. I mean, can is a word that you can, but would you want to? Would you want to keep on switching from one to another? Because as far as I know, when you are in academics, there is a hierarchy. So if you are, say, at a reader position and you are requiring certain amount of publications, so it takes time, it takes effort, to get to that number. So if you have that number and you are in line for getting promoted to HOD or something of your department, okay. So why would you want to shift and go to corporate? And then again, if you are in corporate and you are, doing the kind of work you love, and again go into academics. So I don't think that that would be a very smooth sailing kind of career move. But you can, for however many reasons you wish to, and that will be your call entirely.
That is
Mm-hmm.
fine. Yes, Dr.
Okay.
Sonal, thank you so much. And
Thank you. Thank
Dr. Payal, I have one, point suggestion for you because I have
Yes.
worked with researchers and industry professionals both. So while I was working with the agency earlier, what we used to do is we used to connect with researchers from different organizations, and we used to connect them with pharmaceutical industries where they used to write for pharmaceutical industries. And in some cases, they used to get authorships.
Mm-hmm.
In case the pharmaceutical company decides to publish it in a journal, sometimes they give you that acknowledgement option, right?
Mm-hmm.
In some cases they add you as a co-author, and you be one of the co-authors writing that paper. In
Mm-hmm.
some cases, when the paper is only a white paper and it is not for public domain, then also they put your name as an acknowledgement in the acknowledgement,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are multiple ways how you can think of authorship. Another way is, why not explore freelance writing with some of the agencies, right? They need people like you who have a lot of research background, and they need people who have publication experience as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you can work with them as a freelancer, and if it really works for you well, you could switch to publication writing. And these days, companies like GSK, Novartis, even Eli Lilly, they hire publication writers. So from academia, you could switch over to corporate, and then from corporate, you can come back to academia any point of time. That's not a problem. I
Mm-hmm.
hope I answered that.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So please enlist any freelance sites. So guys, anything related to freelance, let's hold on till next week, because there is an exclusive session coming up only on freelance writing. So we'll cover as much information as possible on freelance writing. Okay. Shreya has a question. Is life science pharma background mandatory for scientific writing? Dr. Sonal, you want to take that?
Okay, so life science, I don't think a pharma background is mandatory at all because I'm doing medical writing, so it must not
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
But something in the science background, you must have in school you must have taken bio, and you must have translated that into at least a graduate degree. Postgraduate is not at all essential, but something in medical science, healthcare background is essential.
absolutely. Yeah. So as long as you understand different therapy area, diseases, drugs, and medical devices related terms and terminologies, as long as you understand your audience, you can get into scientific
You
writing.
should be able to read scientific articles without
Yeah,
people guiding you. The writing
absolutely.
part you can get, feedback on, and you can polish. But if you are not going to be able to understand basic, medical terms, then that's going to be a very basic, like hurdle. So that is
Absolutely.
essential.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this question keeps coming up in all the sessions. How AI affects the manual scientific writing or medical writing in future years? This question is from Bala Saraswati.
Okay, so the session is not complete until we talk about AI.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so I have the perfect answer for that because now I think over the past year I have perfected the answer for this. See, AI is not going to do anything to humans, but
Yeah,
uh, those humans who don't learn AI, they are going to get affected by the humans who learn AI. That's it.
absolutely.
Okay, so don't worry about the technology, just worry about the technology being used. Okay, so it's basically like the simplest thing that we use smartphone. So you are so dependent, everybody's so dependent on using a smartphone, all the apps, everything. Okay, so people of the earlier generation who don't know how to use a smartphone, they don't have any problem in carrying their daily activities, but when it comes to being updated with today's facilities, whatever updates are coming, whether you can say like Blinkit, Zomato, Facebook, Instagram, anything, so you need to be able to use a smartphone in order to function. So even medical writing, in order to be able to write, in order to be able to communicate with your clients, to have smarter representation of who you are as a scientific writer, you need to be thorough with the apps, the AI tools that are coming. That's it. You don't need to master them, you don't need to be dependent on them at all, you just need to be aware of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, I'll tell you, Bala Saraswati, right? What is your background? Are you from a medical or a pharmacy background? Just let me know. Yes, no in the chat box. Are you from medical, pharmacy, or nursing background? What is your background? Bala Saraswati. All right, so it looks like you're not responding, but I'll tell you my experience. So I have been using AI tools for almost like 1.5 years now. And, I used to take a couple of hours to create those flowcharts and graphs earlier, right? Now, with the help of AI, it takes just few minutes for me. Right. So that is the power of AI. It can save a lot of time. It can help us to be, to make our content very creative. But then there are a lot of precautions here, especially if you are working for regulatory kind of writing or clinical trial kind of writing, then you cannot simply use any of these AI tools, right? We have, in fact, NDA signed with clients where they specifically mention not to use AI when we are using creating content for clinical trials, ongoing clinical trials, or regulatory documents, which are very, very confidential kind of documents, right? So if you're in regulatory, then the companies themselves have come up with some tools. There are a lot of companies who are coming up with their own tools. And if you're working with them, then naturally you get access to those tools, right? And these tools are here to make our lives easier. They're here to make our writing better. They're here to improve our productivity. In fact, last couple of weeks, 2 weeks back, I did a session, 5 days session on how to use AI, right? It was a 5 days long session. Next session will be happening again next month. So if you're interested, you may join there. We did a lot of brainstorming. We did a lot of demos and understood how AI can help us. All right, so thank you so much. Where can I improve my writing skills? Sources or websites or guidelines? This is from Mercy Grow, Dr. Sonal.
Okay, so there are a lot of writing courses. I do conduct a lot of writing courses. I think we'll be coming up with some writing courses in the future also.
Yeah,
So apart from taking up courses, which you can do it as a fresher, you can do it as a mid-level or even experience. That is a never-ending process. Okay.
yeah,
Uh, but apart from that, something that you can do, okay, at your levels, is that you can start reading newspapers. Okay, that is something that is not going to cost a penny. Every day you can spend at least 10-15 minutes just reading a newspaper.
yeah,
And what this process is going to do is unlearn all the bad writing ways, the bad grammar that you have somehow, subconsciously learned, and relearn and rewire your brain for better reading, better communicating, and better writing. So this is the most simplest process, but it is going to take a lot of consistency and discipline, because someone who's not used to reading newspapers is going to get bored. Okay, so like you can start with a particular section of paper, because every section of paper has different types of writing. So you can start with like health news and or some heading, anything, and read that part of the newspaper every day. Okay, so you might you will probably obviously learn good vocabulary, new words, and you will see how things are communicated. You will see the flow, the format, the tone of writing. Okay, and all this you start learning, and you can even start reading. Health blogs. You can start reading websites. You can go on PubMed and start reading articles and see how they are written. So you have to basically fill your brain with a lot of scientific and medical writing, so that when you have a topic, your brain starts thinking of an outline, starts thinking of words, how this topic should come to real life. Okay, so you should not be blank. That's it. So start putting information in your head, so that when next time someone gives you a topic, it starts automatically coming out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Sonal, for answering that. And I have a suggestion for everyone who's here on Zoom and also anybody else who's on YouTube, right? All of you. I suggest you take up this course from Karger. Beautiful course. It gives you an idea of what is a plain language summary. Plain language summary is basically a type of content which is written for patients and caretakers, right? You read those scientific research papers, medical research papers, and then summarize them for patients and caretakers, right? That is what plain language summary is, right? Basically, for a layman, you're writing for a layman. So, irrespective of your qualification, irrespective of the domain knowledge, irrespective of the complex knowledge that you have, you're supposed to write the content for the layman ultimately, right? In this kind of writing. So take up this course. It's a beautiful course. I'm putting this link in the chat box. And I think it's 1 hour's course, and you'll get an idea of how to write plain language summary. And they have given two different examples of articles. And they have also given how you can use automated summary generator for creating that, right? So this is like an all-in-one course where you understand what is the complex information, how to simplify that for patients, and also how to use AI. And ultimately, you get a certificate of participation through Karger. Karger is a very renowned publisher, right? They have a lot of other courses as well. So if you are exploring scientific writing, come to this page here, and you'll be able to see a lot of courses here. So take these courses. Most of these courses are free, and you can filter these courses, right? You don't want paid courses, just filter the free courses, take up any of these courses, learn from here, and then get a certificate of participation, plus enhance your knowledge. Okay. So that was a quick tip, and there are a lot of such resources I have posted on YouTube channel as well. And every
There is
week,
a very popular course by Emma Hitt Nichols, that is
I'm not sure.
writing in the sciences. So that
Okay,
is
that is
also
on
free.
Coursera. That is on Coursera.
Coursera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it is very elaborate, very
Very
comprehensive,
detailed. Yes.
and you literally need to have just a science background and know a little bit of how to write in English, how to communicate, and you can take up that course.
Yeah.
And that
Maybe
is
I'll
something.
share the link of that course as well here. I just opened that. If you go to Coursera, you find this course. It's called Writing in the Sciences. This is the one you were talking about, Dr. Sonal, right?
Mm, yes, I believe
Yeah.
so. There is one more by Emma Hit Nichols. I think
Yeah.
there is something.
All right.
Scientific
So I'm
writing.
not sure of that, but then this course is a very elaborate
Yeah,
and it's
this
a very,
also.
very good
This also.
course. This has a lot of modules and you'll understand, when you go through this beautiful course. And again, you can get a certificate from this and your knowledge will definitely be 10x from what it is right now. Okay, so take up this course and there are a lot of free resources we have posted on YouTube. Check them out. You can search for my name on YouTube. You'll find it. It's Manojinpharm.
Let
This is
me
the
try
hashtag.
and find the
Yeah, if you can find, please share that as well. And there are a lot of resources. So don't worry about resources. Keep learning. And as we progress, we'll keep sharing them as well. Okay. Perfect. So any other questions, guys? We are here for a few more minutes. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you, Abdul. Glad you find it useful. Thank you, Preeta, Lakshmi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Nazia. Thank you, Jyotsna. All right. Okay, a lot of you. All right. Thank you, Payal. Perfect. So, uh, do we have anything else? Any other question? I'm just checking. All right. I don't see any other questions. So, Dr. Sonal, thank you so much for your time.
I'll just share
And
the course,
yeah,
sir. 1 second.
please do that. Yeah. You may put in the chat box as well if you want to share the link. That's perfectly fine.
I think this would work.
Yeah, it's on Udemy. Okay, fine. So you can take this up as well. This is a course Dr. Sonal has shared. And please feel free to connect with Dr. Sonal on LinkedIn. And she is very much reachable to all of us. She'll try her best to, solve our doubts. Okay. And do send email as well. If you have any other queries, we'll try to share that email to Dr. Sonal and we'll get back with queries. And if there are a lot of questions coming in from you, then maybe we'll do a session also. Okay.
All right.
If you
I
want
have a
any
starter kit also if people want
Yeah.
to, avail that. That is for a very nominal price.
You may send the link as here itself, Dr. Sonal. Maybe if anybody is
Okay.
interested, they can
All
take that.
Give me a second.
Thank you, Devesh. Thank you, Ambalkar. Thank you. Shivakumar, thank you. All right. So next week we meet on Saturday. We'll be discussing about freelance medical writing. So if you are interested, please join on 29th. It will be on Saturday at 7:45 p.m. India time, same time. And these sessions are for creating awareness as much as possible. All right. Thank you, Dr. Sonal, for sharing that. And any one of you want to take, get some hands-on or mentorship or clarify any of your doubts, please reach out to Dr. Sonal on LinkedIn and she'll be happy to help you out. All right. We'll take one last question, Dr. Sonal. This is from Dr. Preeta. She says, I hold a bachelor's in physician assistant India and did my clinical research certification from Canada and trying for medical writing career. But unfortunately, I'm not getting in. What am I missing? I am a volunteer as a section editor for Journal of Indian Physician Associates and published 2 articles, which are narrative articles. Any suggestions for her?
Okay. Physician assistant. I am not sure I am familiar with that qualification. So I am not exactly sure what it entails and will it be enough. I I think you'll have to do a little bit more of, R&D when you're transitioning, because physician assistant won't be very familiar with the clinical aspects or the scientific aspects of writing. I
Yeah.
assume so, but I think
Maybe we
um,
can discuss 101 and understand more.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So maybe we'll discuss 101 with
I
you,
have to
Preeta, and
look into it and I'll get back to you with a
absolutely,
better
yes,
answer.
we'll do that. Yeah.
Mm.
So perfect. So with that, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Dr. Sonal, thank you so much for that wonderful session and answering all the queries. And I'm sure there are a lot of questions in all of our minds, right? And these questions will always be there. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to connect with Dr. Sonal. You may also write an email to me or connect with me on LinkedIn. We'll try to answer as much as possible. And the objective of these sessions that I do every week is to answer most of your questions, because otherwise, if I have to just reply to your emails or WhatsApp chats or LinkedIn messages, it is not going to end. There are so many messages that we get, so we'll try to answer. We combine all the topics that we can discuss in one session, and then we do a session on that topic, right? That's how we try to create a lot of awareness on different aspects. So with that note, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And Dr. Sonal, thank you again for your generous
Thank you,
sharing of
sir.
your
Thank you,
remarkable
everyone.
journey
It was a
and
lovely
knowledge.
session. Thank
Yeah,
you so much
thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sunil. So to the participants, the session's recordings will be shared with you. It is already there on YouTube. If you want, you can search it there. I'll also be sharing the recording on LinkedIn tomorrow. Please check the post there. And I'll be sharing the LinkedIn profile link of Dr. Sonal just below in the description of the YouTube video. So you can find the LinkedIn profile link of Dr. Sonal and do connect with her. And if you're interested, you can also connect with me. So thank you again, and we'll continue to do these sessions. Do join me in the next session. Thank you.